Huckabee talks about honor. Honor? Are you kidding me? You saying that it's an honor to die in Iraq and to fight a war that we started and we're in the wrong? If you want to know the soldiers' opinion, you should ask them. But I'm tired of these politicians speaking on our behalf and using our name to lobby and to try to win this election. And this war is not about honor. This war is about profiteering. This war is about money. And you know what's the worst part? Is these politicians sending us to war who have their stocks and their money invested in these wars. And that's what's profiteering. We're nothing but pawns being used for their political agendas. When are we going to realize that people fighting in Iraq against us, they're not terrorists, they're soldiers. What would we do if somebody invaded us? I know I will pick up my weapon and fight against them. What the hell we call them? Terrorists? These people want their country back. Let's give them their country back. It's that simple.
My mom has always told me anytime that you feel weak or you feel troubled, you know, you ask for God's help and you ask for angels to come and help you also. Didn't matter what religion you were. It didn't matter if you were atheist, Christian, Jewish, Indian, spoke to the spirits, whatever you did, you prayed to whoever you prayed to every time before we went out to wire.
Watch that van right there! Watch that van, watch that van! Watch your van! We're okay!
After I got hit, one of my kids, Stuart, Lance Corporal Stuart,
yeah,
he came up to me and he was like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Why are you sorry?" He goes, "Well, I could have put that armor on better." And not his fault. That's the worst. Seeing one of your guys sorry for what happened. You know, they were blowing up these Humvees left and right. You know, it's not a fighting vehicle. It's a transportation vehicle.
So what's the hardest thing? You're sitting there and I guess your wife and your kids came up and were they there with you a lot of the time? Or?
Well, I didn't want my kids to see me in that way at that point. I wanted them to see me up and able to move around and, you know, do dad things with them, you know. And that was really hard to see my kids look at me in that way of, like, what happened, you know. So my daughter, she would draw pictures, and Dad has, you know, she'd cut one leg off, you know, in her picture, and then it would become from a cutoff to a robot to, you know, so they call me Dad with robot legs, you know. They don't care because they're like, "Hey, guess what, my dad, he's got robot legs now."
Tako govore oni koji su preživjeli. Imajući u vidu ono kroz šta su oni prošli i još uvijek prolaze, ne možemo a da se ne zapitamo da li je bolje pod A. poslušati gospodina predsjednika, otići u daleku zemlju koja nikada nije naudila niti zaprijetila tvojoj zemlji, uključiti se u rat i rizikovati svoj život, ruku, nogu, oko ili polovinu mozga i nakon toga živjeti u depresiji i kriviti sudbinu zbog svega što se dogodilo. Ili pod B, ostati kući i živjeti u miru, sačuvavši svoj život, svoje udove, svoj brak i smisao za humor.
How about sending home the soldiers with their lives?
President Obama, in honor of Veterans Day, I ask you not to escalate troops in Afghanistan.
Sir, I urge you to be a great leader, recognize where we're at in Afghanistan, recognize that more troops are only going to make the problem worse, they're not going to destroy Al-Qaeda, and it's not going to stabilize Pakistan. And I will ask you to stop combat operations in villages and valleys where our troops are dying only because the people who are fighting us there are fighting us because they're occupied.
Further troops in Afghanistan is going to escalate the violence, it's going to escalate the Taliban recruiting effort, and is certainly not going to create a better situation. We all recognize that we need security in that region, but I think it's a security that needs to be borne by the Afghan people, not by American and coalition forces.
I hope you make the right choice, because it's our blood that is on the line.
Bomb detonated and around 12 suicide bomber killed 4 and wounded 30 others when he tried killing at least 44, wounding